Kanpai!
Kanpai. I don't get to drink because I got to do the intro and everything. Welcome, weebs, to this week's episode of Kanpai Cast. Yes, Nasuth can't help but interrupt me. This fucking dickhead. Right. This week we will be talking
Sorry,
about.
I missed that one.
I hate the pair of you, I swear, love fucking Christ. This week we'll be talking about, the episode's titled Walk a Mile in My Shoes, and the whole premise is based on, I think, the construction of our antagonists within anime. You know, not spotlighting any specific ones, but talking about how would they do if the roles were reversed? Is it nature versus nurture, and all sorts of weird, wonderful stuff like that. But first of all, we're going to go on to housekeeping. So the usual MacGuffin with like, comment, subscribe, and all that other YouTube malarkey. We do read all the comments, so please feel free to put whatever you want in there. I was going to say, shit. I'm trying to think of one of those Family Guy things where they just keep saying
the cutaway gags.
No one.
Oh,
yeah, my brain's just died. Anyway, so
But
the
the
other
brain damage, and the brain damage,
and the brain
and the brain damage.
Make sure you comment about the brain damage and the brain damage. Don't forget the brain damage. But the other housekeeping is just a little precursor. This is not the 3-episode rule. That is next week. So we sat down, we investigated our predictions and everything, and for whatever reason, the whole thing was offset by a week, and it didn't make sense. So next week, when everything should have 3 episodes, unless there's stuff starting this week, we'll be doing the 3-episode rule. I blame you, Kaiju number 8. But anyway, enough with my ramblings. It is time to get on with the show itself.
might be one of the shortest
Ramblings?
Yeah, like pre-show, pre-topic bits we've had.
Oh
no, why is Solo leveling on
interrupting him so many times?
Whew.
I'm so glad they speak over each other.
This is a topic that Nasuth and I kind of accidentally hit on when, as I said, but we need a topic for this week, and I said, but it's opposite day.
Yeah, and then I just kind of ran with that.
So the simple thought we had was, if you swap the protagonist and the antagonist of any given show, I mean, it's not every show, because not every show has a clear protagonist and antagonist, would the story be able to be written still in a compelling way? Would the personalities that those characters have actually be able to carry the opposite role? Or, would it be down to the fact that they were, they would have to be physically made to be different than they were in the base character? Is it nature? Is it nurture? Is it a, when they say walk a mile in my shoes, if a hero walked a mile in the villain's shoes, would they really be the villain still? Or would they, would they still be themselves?
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a few ones we came up with. Our very first one, immediately we went to, everybody's thought about it, is what if you flipped Goku and Freiza?
Well, you thought that. I didn't think that, but
yeah. No. I mean, there's been like a dozen what ifs on the topic, and this is all pre-show. We all had this discussion. It's part of how we were discovering what we were going to actually discuss in this, and while we had this whole thing of, well, Goku would actually make a fairly good villain because he just wants to fight. So if he was just going to keep fighting, and fight everyone in the galaxy until the galaxy exploded, then he probably would if he wasn't so moral.
We didn't have friends to protect, yeah.
But yeah, but if you,
but even then, I mean, Frieza. you see in the Battle of Gods that like he almost destroys the universe fighting with Beerus. So I mean,
yes, even a good guy does that. So what?
I have a request. I would like to ease this topic in a bit better, and I'd like to start with Death Note, of all things, because Death Note has a working example.
But we'll do that next.
No, Death Note has a working example in the series itself of this stuff, and I think it would be a good way to ease people into the topic, and then potentially come. Yeah, cool.
So you didn't actually watch that part of Death Note,
I was
though,
using
right?
this as a.
Oh hell no!
Yeah.
No, I was using this the pre-show discussion, explaining our train of thought, just to say this is where we got to. So this is a perfect thing. Let's start with the one that actually can discuss.
Right.
So,
okay.
As we were doing this, the idea came up that in Death Note, you really do have a good example of this, because at one point in the show, Light loses his memories of being Kira, and he actually kind of becomes a good guy because he's been raised by a police officer, as far as he knows, he's been helping the investigation because that's the front he was putting on, that he was helping them. So everyone thinks he was helping them. So when he, no longer has those memories of being evil, that's just the line he falls into. And I don't remember. I'm pretty sure he's good all the way up until he gets his memories back, and then suddenly he's like, "Oh shit, now is the time." So yeah, you kind of have an example there of he might have been different if he'd never gotten the Death Note. But I'm not sure that L would have been different if he had gotten the Death Note.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Light becoming the good guy, right? I feel that this is a prime example of absolute power corrupts absolutely. He had the power of God and anime in his hands, and then opted to just nonchalantly execute people willy-nilly because
become
he
judge,
was
jury, and executioner. Yeah,
exactly. He read too much Judge Dredd and decided that
Judge Dredd's a better example than Judge Judy.
Who said Judy?
Sorry, it's the way that I said Judge, Jury, and Executioner. Yeah,
I get that. Right. So, but I do agree with you that I don't think L would be the same, but I think L wouldn't have the interest in it. Like, from what little I know of L's character,
yes,
he is very much a what's the term I want to see?
He's intellectual, isn't he? He's more.
No. He's special needs. He is like, I don't care about. No. I'm right. I am special needs, and I am more than happy to say that I would not care to. Well, I probably would actually care to use this power, but I think he doesn't care to use this power because he's more interested in the puzzle. He doesn't give a crap about anything beyond the puzzle.
I don't think it's fair to say he's special needs. I think it's trying to play more into the line of there's a fine line between genius and insanity, right? He's so smart that he doesn't care about these other social niceties that normal people care about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's less that he's special needs and more that he's eccentric.
Yeah, I will. Okay, so this is playing to go into the topic of the nature versus nurture. I think this is a nature thing, because if given the same opportunity, the person is what defines what they do with it. The nature of the person, which can be based off the nurture over time, depending on how old they are.
Well, yeah, because Light is still playing into the sense of justice that has been instilled in him by his parents.
See, this is the thing. Light knows that killing people is wrong, but he has so firmly embedded himself in the justice of the greater good that some people have to die for the world to be better, that it is justice in his brain.
Is this a you wouldn't download a car situation? Are we having a you wouldn't download a car?
You said it yourself. Power corrupts. Correct. Power corrupts. Okay, so for you, if I could download a car, I probably would. It's that. It's. I feel like if you had the power to do it, I might just do it.
But I think that's the whole point. Like, he thinks he can get away with this.
Yes, which is why when he no longer has the avenue to get away with it, he doesn't engage in that behavior. It's only when he has the avenue to get away with it that he does. Like, you wouldn't steal a car because you'd probably get caught.
Yeah.
But if you could just download one and no one knows and no one, gets hurt in the process,
Yep.
You would. You totally would.
And, yeah, exactly. So
how on earth did we get onto a conversation about piracy from Death Note?
Because your brain is special needs. Now, my thing is that, see, if the Death Note fell into L's hands, L might use it, but it wouldn't be for anything like the same reason. It would be a puzzle. He would want to
probably
figure
try to
out
research
how it worked.
Yeah.
Even with those rules written straight there in clear black and white for him, he would see how extensive those powers were.
Okay,
and once he discovered how far they were, I think he'd stop using it after that.
I have a question, and unfortunately, I think Naz is the only one that can answer this. Do we have enough of L's background to understand his character fundamentally to the point of nature versus nurture?
I don't think so. I don't think they really go into his past too much.
I mean, fuck, do we even learn his name?
No, because even when they bring in the girl, like some semi-connected to him, it doesn't really shed more light on either.
Right. Okay.
So,
but I think we can infer a lot from his behavior in the show, based on yeah. Anyway, I think he even talks about getting. I think he even talks about getting. Sorry. I think he even talks about getting a hold of whatever power is doing this at one point and what he likes to do. But I can't remember how that goes. I'm pretty sure it's just that he would want to figure it out. I think Thalien's right.
A part of me feels like, because of this, if we were to give the reversal, like, Light is our young, genius, eccentric, what's called sleuth, cyber sleuth. And L was our protagonist, I don't want to say genocidal maniac, but the protagonist with the god complex. There you go. That does actually describe Light. But if L was the protagonist with, L would be awful as a character because we know nothing about. We don't understand any of his motivations or anything, right?
Okay.
Well, in that circumstance, we would probably learn more about him.
Okay. I just had this thought, right? Okay. Re-scripted. We have our protagonist, Light, who is a genius, who has a thing. And you could build up in the first episode that he likes to solve these murder mysteries in general.
Sure.
Right? And that his father is on the police force and actually does ask him occasionally what his opinion is on things. And then there is a murder, a completely mysterious one that, and Light gets intrigued by it, and he goes through, and he finds, and he uses through the police force, through everything, he finds this mysterious figure, L. And all L is doing is, as the plot develops, all L is doing is finding out the extent of the powers of this weird book he got, and isn't giving a damn about the consequences to life.
He doesn't care who he's killing, and he just cares that he's figuring out the puzzle. So it might be even more immoral than what Light is doing, in theory.
Yes, he turns into a proper Holmes versus Moriarty thing, where the guy L is, always trying to be a step ahead of him, and is trying to figure out Light's real name so that he can off him, but is a basement dwelling, sweet eating shell of a man that doesn't actually come out of the darkness until the end and just goes off his rocker and is a proper maniacal villain.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's all down to the quality of the writing and things like that, but to me, having that as an elevator pitch, I wouldn't want to back this because there's no compelling narrative for our villain, right? Again, let's actually shall we pivot now back to Dragon Ball Z? Because there is compelling elements to Frieza. Where's D? There's D. Right, okay. With Frieza and Goku, like there is a lot. Shut up, you. There is a lot more. Crap. What was I going to say? There's a lot more backstory to them, right? Yes. I don't think we have a great deal for Frieza, but we certainly have enough to understand that both his nature and his nurture he's a giant little shithead, right?
Born with a power level of 1 million, raised in absolute
luxury,
the absolute dominion.
Yeah,
that the Empire was going to be his when he's old enough, and that Daddy King Cold is going to step aside and let him run things for a bit.
I mean, wasn't he running things for a great part?
Is it all nature though? I mean, well, I'm sorry. Does the nature agree with the nurture? I should say, because you see in Super, once they're in the final tournament, he actually, if we're just talking about Z, then you're probably right. But once you get to Super, we do see that he actually will sacrifice his desires in order to perform a greater service.
Okay, I'm going to say, because I can't. Well, unless you two want to have the conversation about Super, because I can't speak on that.
If we want to restrict it to just Z, that's fine. I don't mind doing that.
So, shall we just talk about Z for now, and then potentially talk about?
That's the one that most of any of our audience probably have seen.
Yeah,
probably.
Because I mean, in that one, he even comes back from the dead, or is rebuilt, I should say, and still does the same thing. So it's pretty clear that he's only concerned with in Z.
He doesn't learn his lesson from having his ass kicked, shall we say?
Yeah. I can't remember. Is Cooler canon, or is Cooler just part of the movies?
I think Cooler only showed up in the movies.
Okay, I think he's just part of the movies then. So if we look at the narrative reversal, so if it was a case of maybe there was this peaceful empire, they were ruling the galaxy just and proper, and then all of a sudden this one upstart planet decides, it's gonna start conquest across the galaxy through Capsule Corp.
They never conquered the Saiyans, and the Saiyans came to Earth, and Goku.
Goku went to Earth regardless of whether or not Vegeta was destroyed.
But to conquer rather than to be dropped on his head as a baby.
Goku becomes a tyrannical dictator. I mean, I kind of see Goku doing that, but certainly not in the same direction. Like, if he was to become a villain,
you might think he was helping them.
No. If Goku was to become like a proper villain, I don't see him learning things like the Kamehameha. I don't see him
for sure.
Right? I think he would learn his own techniques.
Would he even be able to achieve Super Saiyan without that purity of heart?
So, here's the thing that I was going through a couple of the what ifs online. So, picture that Goku went to Earth, and his thing was to turn into the Great Ape and take it over because nobody had a good enough power level. But he faces off against people like Master Roshi, who is, one of the strongest people on Earth at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And maybe they manage to cut off his tail, and he has to go away and fight and hide in the woods and then come back and fight them. And he learns their techniques just by combat. Because he does. He uses other people's techniques quite freely once he figures out how to use them. Right? And he becomes stronger. He becomes strong enough to go back to, when he's defeated Earth, he becomes strong enough to go back in his pod to planet Vegeta, and he's now strong enough to become a Saiyan Elite. Then, of course, the Saiyans go on.
Maybe even the King of the Saiyans.
Not quite. But I'd say you go on like a planetary conquest. Let's make him
No, let's make him truly evil, right? Let's have him overthrow Vegeta and take over Vegeta, right?
Yes.
So I just wanted to say, no.
He becomes a Sailor Elite, and he goes off to other worlds to conquer them. And over time, it turns out that he's just a genius in fact of learning other people's tricks. And so he learns.
I like this idea, right? What if Good says he uses the Dragon Balls to teach him other techniques?
Oh no! Just because he's selfish and he's not interested in the honorable way, he uses the Dragon Balls to grant himself power.
That's true.
He wants to be as strong as Frieza or something like that.
Yeah.
And so he challenges the.
But a Saiyan always has their pride.
Yeah,
so I would see him. I could see him.
Vegeta would become immortal. Vegeta would have become immortal in a heartbeat the first time he found the Dragon Balls.
He would have.
That's fair.
But he would have done that because of Frieza. You know.
And so, Goku not losing his memories, he would know about Frieza.
Would he? He was a baby.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, but
Depends
he'd
on how much
actually
the
be in
pod teaches
contact
them.
with the Saiyans.
Downloads it straight into the brain, Matrix style.
Exactly.
Maybe he still had a scouter.
It does become very difficult at that point, right? To realize.
But imagine that, you know, our powerful Saiyan has gone back. He's taken over planet Vegeta, overthrown the king, formed a dictatorship, and is then marching on the Empire. And then the benevolent Empire has to fight back. There's a decades-long war, and the Saiyans keep getting stronger but fewer all the time. And eventually, they face off, and Emperor Goku fights against Emperor Frieza.
So, may I interject?
Yeah,
right. So let's say all that, but Goku has Earth in his back pocket. He doesn't tell anyone about Earth, right? He basically tells everyone that Earth is destroyed, but Earth is where the Dragon Balls are, right? That's, you know, Goku's secret, right? He doesn't tell anyone about the Dragon Balls. And eventually, through whatever means, it probably has to be like, you know, a scouting party or something, Frieza ends up learning about the Dragon Balls on Earth, but he can't really get to Earth. Hold on.
What if he okay.
Hold on. He can't really get to Earth because, like, Goku's keeping it, like, super secure, and, like, you know, there's Saiyans. So, but Goku doesn't know about Namek.
The Namekian, yes.
Right? And that's when Frieza goes to Namek.
Yeah, you get this whole... You can basically... This is my exact thought, okay? We can make a compelling story arc, a storyline, based on reversing the protagonist and antagonist roles of these characters.
I think
you can even say, because Goku is too busy and he doesn't think Frieza's enough of a problem, he sends Krillin and Bulma and Gohan, who are on his side, obviously, because he's been ruling Earth for all this time, to stop Frieza and get the Dragon Balls for him, or whatever.
I mean, clearly he was just sending Nappa. You just, like, you know.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nappa and former Prince
Nappa.
Vegeta, who is like subject. Oh,
both Vegetas are dead.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All three Vegetas are conquered.
That was more.
But in exchange, we get Nappa. So I mean, it's worth it.
Yeah,
I'd say it's worth it.
What about his brother?
Yeah,
Raditz. I mean,
what about training up Raditz to be his second in command?
Well, not just
his
that.
older brother.
What about Brawly?
We could also not just Brawly, but also Bardock.
Brawly could actually be on Frieza's side.
I think, well, I mean, potentially.
Yes,
it depends who would find Brawly first.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So, because Paragus's thing was against King Vegeta, wasn't it?
Paragus, was that Broly's father?
Broly's father was against. He was against Vegeta. So
when they were all babies.
When they were all babies.
Yeah.
And then Broly was against
Goku.
Baby Goku.
Yeah.
Okay, so
no, let's ignore the non-canon Broly. Let's go with Super Broly.
Yes, but Paragus, he hated King Vegeta.
Yeah.
For banishing him.
Which means Frieza could probably recruit him easier.
So he could side with Frieza.
Could Goku recruit him? Because, like, I killed King Vegeta. I killed the dickhead that you.
Add some drama. Have Goku recruit Paragus.
Yeah.
But Broly realizes that King Goku is more evil than King Vegeta and defect to Frieza's side.
I mean, I think given all the events, it's quite obviously we've changed like fucking everything.
Yeah.
Red Ribbon Army would be owned by Goku. Sorry.
Oh, yes.
Hell yeah.
But
Making androids and technology for them.
Cell, perfect Cell Goku. But regardless of all of this, but Beerus, right?
But we're not doing Super. Remember?
That's true. But I think the whole thing is there is so much potential in this that it could work. I think the only thing we really need is more of a history of Frieza to adapt and change the things.
You would kind of have to invent more, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like that's the only fly in this ointment. It's very similar to shit. Who were we talking about? Al. Yeah.
Okay, so let's before we go even more into our Dragon Ball what ifs, I did have one I wanted to pivot to because
I think we all do. But you go first, Thaylien.
Yeah, this is let's put this onto a story that is much more contained, and that would be Akira.
Oh, okay.
So
you want to change now, Tetsuo and Kaneda?
Yes. What would happen if these two personalities, with their difference in personalities, if Kaneda was the one that ran into the psychic powers, while Tetsuo had to then step up and join with the gang and try and stop him.
Before you elaborate on your points of view on this, I just want to interject briefly and say, I don't think anything would change, because I did think about Akira. I think it's just basically a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you have to imagine part of what turns Tetsuo into the monster by the end is there's two factors that I can think of. One is the world they live in, which is not very friendly to, it's a very delinquent culture because, the young generation has been essentially repressed by the older generation. And the other one is that they're experimenting on him, right? And so he wants to escape that situation, and that's part of what starts triggering his abilities to increase.
Yes, it is.
And he just wants to figure out what's going on, which is why he wants Akira.
Until the end.
Yeah, but even then, it's because they're trying to stop him from achieving, the answer, getting the answer.
Yes, it is. So here's the thing. The reason that Tetsuo's power overwhelms him and goes out of control could be argued. Could be argued. It's his own self-doubt and paranoia.
Oh, sure, for sure, yeah.
Yes, so his own feelings of self-doubt and paranoia drive him to use his power to kill guards that are trying to stop him from going somewhere. It causes him to fight against people even though they're trying to help him. Causes him to go a little bit stir crazy.
But is it paranoia if they're really out to get you?
That is a very good point. Well, it's a meme, but it's relevant in this case. But I don't think that Kaneda would have taken it the same way. I think that Kaneda's nature, rebellious but gregarious, friendly leader.
I disagree.
He would have taken it a different way.
One of the only things that got Kaneda to keep going was the girl that he fell in love with.
Yes.
I think otherwise he might have given up entirely on all this.
I think the only real difference between the pair of them is their position with each other. Like where Kaneda was above Tetsuo.
In the pecking order,
I think Tetsuo's got a bit of the Napoleon complex where he wants to be the guy.
He wants to beat him.
Yeah, but at the same time, I could see a similar Napoleon complex with Kaneda, where it's just like, I want to oppress you. I'm above you, right? I've always been above you.
You would have had this.
Know your place.
Have that emperor complex. Yeah. So I have this power. I have it for a reason. He wouldn't. I don't think he would have killed the guards escaping. I think he would have blown past them and laughed at them with his power. is the kind of thing. That is the key difference I would see between the two of them. You know?
I still
Kaneda would have grandstanded. He would have made an exit, but he wouldn't have just directly killed people.
But I think in both cases they're partially a product of their world. So in this case, I think it's very much a nurture situation.
Yeah. So think about the flashes of the mini cult that we had with the people that worshipped
in the news
Tetsuo,
and things like that. Yeah.
In the news and like following along with him. That guy that was screaming with the prayer beads about how the end was coming.
No, they didn't worship Tetsuo. They worshipped Akira. Who's Akira?
Yes, but they thought that Tetsuo was part of the Akira
second
myth.
coming of Akira.
Did they?
Yes, they were following his thing where he was like crushing tanks and pushing things back. That's why they all died on that bridge when the bridge collapsed, because they were following him.
Right.
I think Kaneda would have played into that. He would have become their hero and showed off. I think he would have.
I don't know. I think he's got too much of an independent streak for that. I don't think he would want sycophants. I think Tetsuo would want sycophants. Actually, Tetsuo would want people to worship him. I don't think Kaneda would. I think Kaneda would be like,
but Tetsuo doesn't care for life either. Tetsuo didn't give a damn that they died. Think about his girlfriend. His girlfriend was just a thing. It was just he never actually cared about her to the point where he accidentally killed her. He felt bad about doing it, but he accidentally killed his girlfriend.
Wait, did he?
Yeah, she gets crushed in his in his Kronenberging.
Yeah,
and then he like reverts back into himself almost back into himself because he's like, "Oh my god, what have I done?"
Yes, so he feels bad about it, but he couldn't stop himself from doing it.
But I don't think Kaneda would do it to begin with. No. I don't think he would let himself get that far.
No. See? So, but of course, if Kaneda was being this all-powerful, I'm going to fuck up the government and find who Akira is, would Tetsuo and the gang actually step up? Because one of the things we saw Tetsuo do was, in order to deal with the things that were happening, he went back to the bar and then just killed everyone there and took all the drugs. He took all the drugs.
But I think he would. I think if the roles were reversed, he would. Because Tetsuo took the drugs
leader.
Due to
he wants to be Kaneda, So I think he would. Yeah.
So yeah.
Or at least he'd try. I don't think he'd do a good job of it, but I think he'd try.
No. I think he would, in fact, try to step up and be the leader, and the other bike gang people would support him.
I'm not going to lie.
It's like this is not the Kaneda we know. Let's go stop him.
I'm not going to lie. I do think it would end with more of a Darth Vader, Return of the Jedi ending than going to interdimensional timeout corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. But I think the interdimensional timeout corner was actually independent of the drama between these two. I think
I think Kaneda would take more control. I think Kaneda wouldn't necessarily let it escalate.
Go out of control.
But would die at that point.
Because Tetsuo is kind of unstable to begin with, and that instability is the core of what makes him go out of control. Kaneda is much more stable, much more in control, much more clear-headed and tactical in his thinking.
We speculate, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Pitch this for the end scene. Okay, you've got the fight. Kaneda's being fought by Tetsuo, and he's also had to fight against the girl who's been that he liked and was following. Because she's then being used as an avatar for the psychic kids. But then he realizes all his friends are against him, and Akira is not what he thought he was. So when the psychic kids show up, they tell him, no, this is you've got to stop this. We have to go. And the interdimensional timeout corner is more like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done this. You guys have shown me the light again. kind
No,
of thing.
I don't know, because I think the lead up to, like, I'm doing it to prevent the oppression that we've been suffering for the
I
last
think he would see himself as the
several
hero.
decades.
Yeah.
He
He
would
would
full
want to try
Anakin
and
this
change. He would want to try and destroy the government that has, allowed this to happen.
time.
Yeah.
That
I
tried to
still think that
experiment on
his-
him. That created Akira in the first place.
Mhm.
That it's their fault that all this is happening. Let's go after them. And then he probably just doesn't care what happens after that.
But that's the thing. I think that all of his friends are trying to stop him because he's becoming he's becoming worse than the government.
I don't know though, because
snap him out of
he
it.
knows even in the show he thinks like the early parts of the movie, he thinks he knows what's best. I don't think them going against him would change that.
I don't know.
Should we?
This is an interesting one. So yeah.
We are going around in circles.
Yeah.
Should we?
What-
I have another one that I'd like
What's
to
your next one?
Yeah. So in Jujutsu Kaisen, at least in season 2, right? We see Gojo and Geto.
Mm-hmm.
We see them basically going through the same experiences, but coming to very different conclusions. And I thought that might be an interesting twist on the idea of, is it nature or nurture? Because what makes them go their different ways. One of them, I mean, they both think they're doing the right thing, but
Yes.
Wait, which ghetto are you talking about, though?
Oh, in the
original.
flashback part section, where they eventually go their separate ways, and he, embraces the
First, first 6 episodes.
of season 2. And so you could argue that he becomes the bad guy even before he's taken over by the thing.
The thing.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes him that way? What is it that makes him see the same situations so differently from Gojo? Even though they've both come up in the Jujutsu High School, they both have learned from the same people. They both understand the idea of their task, and yet he's like, no, this is not right. I have to do something else. None of this is working. Is it his nature?
Ooh,
Well,
this is where it
you see,
comes in.
Sorry,
the powers nature or nurture? Sorry.
Right,
Go.
So, I don't think it's fair to say they were both brought up the same, because Gojo,
I mean, we don't know before they got
was-
into Jujutsu, I suppose.
No, but we do,
We do
right?
a little bit,
Because
yeah.
Gojo, right, was this special prodigal child with the ability to control, space, right?
And have
Geto
the
did-
mythical 6 eyes.
But like Geto doesn't have that, right? So we already know that how they were raised was completely different.
Mm-hmm. So here's another thing. Are the powers considered nature or nurture? Because the powers are basically what they're born with, so they're definitely part of their nature.
To some
But
degree,
the way
at
the powers
least.
affect them. I mean, Gojo is given powers, is born with powers that make him potentially the strongest in the world because of the specific combination he has. Whereas Geto has this power that absorbs other things' power, and
So-
it's disgusting to him.
To play devil's advocate, I argue this is nurture only because they wouldn't natively have access to those abilities without learning about them, without learning how to control them, without learning.
They both seem to be in. Oh, sorry. Just about the powers. I think you're saying. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah. So even though that is their special power, right?
They have to be taught.
They have to. They have to be taught how to turn it on.
And you see them learning how to use new techniques, as they go too. So it's not just this, it's not just their innate power.
Yes.
It's how they learn
Let's
to
say
use it.
the 6 eyes. The 6 eyes was definitely an innate one because he used it when he was 6 years old.
Sure.
if you that guy showed up and had beef with a 6-year-old because he had that power.
I don't remember that.
No, that was the one they're fighting in those 6 episodes. He apparently showed up when Gojo was 6, just to assess him, and Gojo turned around with the power of 6 eyes.
Yeah,
like there were memes about this guy beefing with a 6-year-old.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily think that Gojo had the ability to just like.
No, I don't think it's controlled. No, but that's the thing. Okay, because the powers themselves are nature. Using them and the effects of them are definitely nurture.
And probably how you contextualize them too.
If Gojo's power, his 6 eyes, caused him to non-stop see the most disgusting parts about humanity, right? The same way that Geto's power to absorb spirits made him feel and taste the disgusting nature of magic, right? What if that was just those 2 things? If those 2 things are switched, right? That Geto's power made him feel amazing and powerful and strong every time he did it, where Gojo's power, the 6 eyes
made him see the worst,
made him feel disgusting and like he was wading through filth the entire time with everybody's with humanity as a disgusting whole. Would that have changed?
That is a very good point. I forgot about. For some reason, it slipped past me that when he absorbs the curses, it's always disgusting to him. I completely forgot about that.
I think it would. I think it because I think would it necessarily turn him into a villain?
It still could potentially. It still could go either way. Like Gojo could be like I see such horrors that I know I need to protect people from them. And Geto could be like, I love absorbing these things so much that I want to feed off of people. I want to increase the number of curses by my, on purpose.
Yes. So here's that's that difference. See, the difference that they actually came to was purely in methodology. Okay? When it comes down to it. This was the really weird thing about those 6 episodes, is that they both want to, in theory, at that point, fix there being cursed energy in the world.
Yeah,
right?
But they have such vastly different methods.
You can either eliminate it entirely, or you can cause every single person to learn to control it. Mm-hmm. So you give every part of humanity the ability to control cursed energy, therefore it doesn't have to be that nobody's going to suffer from it anymore, versus, well, let's just stop people from suffering. And so the curse
just eliminate the source
in the first place.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but both of them seem to be an impossible task, and both of them seem to be approaching it kind of wrong. The best they can, but wrong at the end of those 6 episodes. So, could the coin flip of having that difference in their powers cause them to come up on opposite sides of that debate, of that method?
I don't know. I think that's one of the things I like about Jujutsu, is that they're not just very simple villains, right? Have complex motivations. And it is kind of hard to suss them out.
I don't think so. I don't think that they're victims of their nature. I think they're victims of the experiences that they've had. So it's the
yes.
Cool. Right. So apologies to everyone. You will have noticed that my audio and picture quality now looks as it should do. Unfortunately, up until this point, my PC just completely and utterly pooped itself.
And then destroyed the file.
It lost the hard drive. Sorry, it lost one of the hard drives completely unrelated to this recording. I fucking hate SATA connections. I really do.
And like, it didn't just corrupt the video. It's just gone.
It's gone. It's just gone. Anyway, so honestly, because it's taking so long to get set back up, I can't remember what point I was trying to make. So I think we're going to sum up our points of Jujutsu Kaisen and then move on to our next show. Yeah.
So I think I was essentially saying to Thaylien that this was a really good point. I'm glad he brought it up, especially with the way that they experience their gifts. So if their gifts may be their nature, but the experiences that those gifts give them as they develop and grow are sort of a nurture aspect, because it informs their view of the world. So yeah, very good point. I appreciated that.
I don't really think I have much else to add. Yes, okay, so
more of a pirouette,
I think
really, but you know.
Oh, a changement. So let's move on to actually Dio Brando.
Ooh,
from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Right?
We did talk about this one a bit, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah. So we touched upon. Oh, look at that shot! That's such a brilliant shot to go to Dio.
Look at that beautiful man.
One of the most interesting elements to Dio is we actually do see a fair chunk of his life prior to becoming the vampiric monstrosity that he becomes. He very much is someone that when he gains the the powers of the mask, he revels in it. He does look for what the world owes him. Right,
which is weird,
and
because he's given.
No, it's not.
I mean, it should be, because yes, his real father was an asshole, sure, but his adopted father treats him really well. You know, both he and his brother and his exactly. He's given just about everything he could want, but he wants more, just like his real father.
But the thing is, no, but remember though that what. I can't remember what his father's called.
Oh, it's Dio. Isn't it also Dio something?
No, it's Brando. I want to say it's like Brandon Brando or something. It's something utterly daft like that. Bezos Brando. We're looking it up real quick.
The Brando family.
Family Brando,
Dio Brando, Dario Brando. See, it was close to Dio Brando.
I feel like that was a weakness.
Yeah. So Dario, who lived in poverty and squalor and things like that.
No, I think the
treated
learned behavior.
Dio very, very poorly.
The learned behavior is often
to the point of
twists
basically
the use of empathy.
Dio polished him off.
So
right?
you can feel,
Dio
you can
did
empathetically
it very subtly. He
judge another person. You can put yourself in their shoes a little bit, because Dio's not a pure narcissist who has the inability to see himself in another position. He can see why things would hurt other people.
And it makes you think.
But then he uses that to hurt them.
It makes you think, like, does Dio even have the capacity for
he's twisted
empathy?
the use of empathy in himself.
He might have, but maybe his father's behavior, like, burned it out of him.
Everybody else should use it.
Is that even possible?
Oh yeah.
Can you really learn to become apathetic?
If you study cases of child abuse, yeah, you can. and then he uses it against them, or to pull them to his side.
Okay. And so I feel that that it's interesting how the series talks about, you know, the nature of the Joestars and the Brandos, because I don't know if you're aware of this. Just like the Joestars have the family birthmark of the star over there on the neck, the Brandos have the 3 dots on their ear, right, on their earlobe.
Okay.
Right?
How's about
so it's very interesting to see
didn't have an also father.
Giorno
had some
have both.
Other
Yeah.
influence.
Right?
Which is, I mean,
Somebody
the whole point
else showed
of that
compassion
series
and
was whether
showed
they
him
were
what that could do
whether
for
he
him.
was
And so
following in
when he
Dio's
was
footsteps
adopted,
or
so
the
no,
Joestars
hold on,
or doing his
before
own
he
thing.
got there. Yeah, so his father wasn't the only influence in his young life.
Regardless of Giorno,
And so
you know,
when
it feels like
they
the
then,
show
when
really
he was adopted
pushes
by
the whole
Joestars,
narrative
he became happy
of
with
nature.
it. But say,
nature rather than nurture. But it's
he
like,
adopted
you know,
brother
nope.
was just a
It's
spoiled
like,
brat.
you know, if
and
the
did all
series
these
is
things
anything
because
to
he's
go
now
by,
got
it's
this new little
100%
brother that his father
nurture.
dotes on.
It's like, you know, it's all about how
he's being pushed out of his
Dio
place in the
was brought
family.
up. It's all about Dio's life experiences. It's all about
So
Jotaro's
that
life
attitude could
experiences. It's
have
all about everyone's life
happened.
experiences.
If Dio
with the story,
hadn't had
would
an
the story
asshole
be as
father,
compelling? I'm sure,
but
they
he
could write
still
it
ended
that
up
way.
adopted
Yeah.
by the Joestars, would it have turned out different?
I think so.
Yeah, but the Joestars did show him compassion. Oh, you mean before that? Okay. Right. Why not me? I'm the natural born son. It should be me. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the I think so. I 100% think so. Because, I mean, a lot of the exploration of who Dio is as a character comes from, you know, his mind, his methodologies, his madness, so to speak. You know,
As
it's
detailed
really
more
interesting.
in part, or startup, you could say, even. Because we see a lot more of like, his ultimate goals after his initial defeat.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
And
I think it's
Dio was out to steal his girl.
It's
and
brilliant
steal everything
in that
from
regard, and I feel that if it was actually his dad that passed away,
at the same time, it's
and not his mum at birth, sorry, hiccups.
That attitude.
You know, Dio would have turned out completely differently.
Yes.
And in fact, if you remember correctly, Jonathan, sorry, I'm trying to remember which one was this. Jonathan was acting like a spoilt brat when Dio turned up. Right?
That is true.
You know, his table manners were atrocious, according to George, his father. You know, why can't you be more like Dio and things like that? And it wasn't until Jonathan and Dio both went to boarding school that, you know, they came back and Jonathan tried to patch things up, only to discover that Dio was trying to poison George just like he did Dario.
Yeah, there could be that. Or trying to be nice. You know, trying to be understanding. And
I
so the
think that
wild
was
child
just him
was
being
go
a dick,
wilder
just to-
instead of being shown an example of an actually bad child.
He did want to. It was part of the.
So
I wanted to
think
destroy you.
that the story would end up with them being the opposite sides.
Take all your stuff,
Antagonist and antagonist.
including your girlfriend, and anything you own is going to be mine.
I mean, here's an interesting question, right?
And then the world.
Say hypothetically, if Dio was raised by his mum, not his dad, right? He was had a much better upbringing, right? But ultimately, he ended up going under the he went to go live with the Joestars, right? Would Jonathan then go even harder on the spoilt brat because Dio would potentially be so much more submissive? Yeah.
What if Dio turned out
certainly.
to be let's go with the assumption that he turned out good, essentially. But he still got a hold of the vampire mask and he still got transformed into a vampire. How do you think that would change the story?
See, that's the thing. I think it would be a case of he would use that ability for good, not for selfish needs. Right? I think, again, likewise, say the characters still had the same life experiences, but Jonathan got the mask instead of Dio. I think Jonathan would still attempt to do things for good reasons, right?
Yes.
To help people. He would be like the anti-Jack the Ripper, but he'd be stuck doing things only at nighttime because he couldn't go out during the day.
And meanwhile, Dio, if he learned Hamon, but was still bad, would use the Hamon for bad uses. Yeah, it's fair enough.
I don't know about that.
Can you learn Hamon and have ill intent? I mean, in theory you can, because remember there are people in Stardust Crusaders that have stands, and stands are just an extension of Hamon.
Well, no, it's a vampire killing tool, yes.
True.
But other people...
You do raise... Yeah, yes. But I don't know how
that
you
might be a
would
retcon,
use it.
though. Because, I want to say that... who is it that teaches them? Is it Caesar, or is it... Yeah, it's Caesar, isn't it?
No, it's not Caesar. No, it's not Caesar. It's...
That's how you know it's
something
Zeppeli, yeah.
Zeppeli's the family name.
I want to say that he said you couldn't use it with... ill intent, but I don't know. Maybe he was.
Well, I mean, how would you use it with ill intent? Like, what could you possibly do to ill intent?
Well, I mean, just same way you would use ki to but Vegeta uses ki for bad things, or Frieza does, or.
But I thought Hamon was only used to kill vampires. Like, I mean, apart from
because he used it to climb up the cliffside and everything too. So clearly, it can be used for more things than just killing vampires.
Yes.
Okay.
That it's anathema to vampires, I believe.
So it won't be a thing, but it's just
even though Dio also has a stand. Anyway.
So. No.
Right. Okay then.
You do. I think this is a really interesting one. Because how would a protagonist vampiric hero deal with an antagonist who's got a power specifically designed to be anathema to vampires?
Well, I mean, to be fair, though,
this is like the original Green Lantern, who had his weakness is the color yellow.
No, but like
so as a man that paints him completely yellow.
I mean, like, fucking Dio did an extremely good job. I mean, what if they were using the vampirism for good? I mean, you could have volunteers that are like, oh, make me a vampire to help you fight against the good bad guy, whatever. So there are like methods behind that madness that you could write in and stuff.
The entire Speedwalk Dragon Foundation is vampires. They're out there doing good.
Super secret vampires. With charitable donations. So, but again, like, how would this affect the rest of the series? Right? how would it just be like
Ooh.
this vampire stand
Ooh,
user as opposed to?
Okay, it's the thing. Maybe this is the thing with the climactic battle with Jonathan, where he takes his body. Okay,
Yeah.
cuts off his head. He's getting his head cut off, and the only way to live is taking over his arch enemy's body, which is why he's able to. He becomes a daywalker vampire and can.
Right, that's why he can use Hamon
and
now,
can
yeah.
use Hamon as
Yeah.
well. So he's the only vampire in the world that can use Hamon, use a stand, and fight against this other organization. He's Blade.
The super oppressive Speedwagon Foundation using their supernatural powers to shout out band names and people just die.
Yeah.
Right.
And only one brave vampire can stand against them.
So my thoughts, is not so if you want to move on from this, I'm not sure if you've got anything more to say.
Nope.
Is to go for one nature versus nurture protagonist antagonist swap that could really noodle your noggin.
Go on.
Trigun. Because Vash and Knives were raised by the same person and
created from the same source.
Winners. And they came from the same source, the same type of being, but they had
both tasked with the same job too.
Yes. One of them turned evil before they even turned like 6 years old. And so where do we draw the line on this one? What would happen?
The problem is that we don't really truly know if they were plants who were given physical form, and so they have a history before coming to our world, or if they were fresh. I don't think it actually says anywhere in the show. It might say in the manga. I don't think it actually says anywhere in the show if they were freshly created in our world by the plants.
No, I thought they were found, like that their existence was found while they were out in space, and then they just sort of like. But
they were created, as far as we know, they were created by the plants and sent here to stop humanity from hurting them. Now we don't know if they were created out of whole nothing, or if they were sent angels that were sent here. I say angels, sorry, plants that were sent here. But we know that that's the case.
Do we?
Yes.
Is this?
Yeah, so
I 100% promise you we know.
On the life ships that were sent out into space, the seed ships, these two were basically just manifested into being, and that's where their adoptive mum found them. There's not really an explanation for it, and so the great debate is whether they were created to defend the plants or to be ambassadors from them.
Does it actually say it in here? You continue talking. I'm gonna.
So my thought is, imagine if we had the happy-go-lucky Vash.
Vash
with his
human, but a human plant, interdimensional beings that are tapped as a source of power and energy. As a plant, his body does not physically age past his mid-20s, though he is 131 by the time the series begins. There you go. As independent plants, he and his twin brother Knives are capable of consciously using their immense energy to perform incredible destructive feats. There you go. He's a plant.
Right. What's the citation? Is it the manga or is it the anime?
Actually, that is the manga.
Yeah,
that is a good point.
Yeah. Vash it's greatly in the anime, the 1998 anime. He and Knives do not encounter Tessa, and Vash does not try to commit Sudoku and doesn't accidentally stab Rem. Vash and Knives were found by the crew as human-like infants a year before the Project Seeds fleet arrived at Gunsmoke. The crew initially wanted to kill them, however, Rem threw herself between the twins and the weapons, begging for their life. In just 1 year, they aged nearly 10 years in appearance and had much higher intellectual capabilities than normal. So,
This is why I always fought you on this, Naz, because I don't remember the anime ever saying this.
So they were just kind of in the anime. They were just kind of manifested on the ship. but they're definitely plants. They're just.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, if that's the intent, I'm fine with that, and I'm happy to go with what the manga intended, because I know that the anime differs from the manga heavily.
Yeah.
But
there is somewhere along the line within the anime, at least, the two of them are treated cruelly by one of the human crew members, and one of them takes it one way, and the other takes it another. And so I'm just wondering what this would result in is the cruel experience they had at the hands of a human. In one case, decides that it makes one of the twins decide that, yeah, humans are the problem and they need to be put out of their misery before they can hurt our people, while the other says, well, everybody should just get along.
So one point I have is the fact that just because you're twins doesn't mean you're going to be the same mentally.
No, of course
because
not.
They impact each other, right? We see that Knives has this very dominant personality over Vash, who has this very submissive personality, and I think I'd be so intrigued to understand the psychology behind it. Like, what does it take for one personality to flip like that? You know, what or set itself in stone like that? And yeah, like, I could easily see like Vash becoming the dominant one and Knives becoming the submissive one, but what does it take for that to happen in terms of a scientific case? Nasuth still going through the article.
It's still kind of implied because they anyway, it doesn't matter.
So how would the show turn out differently if the antagonist was a happy-go-lucky guy saying that he was going to bring love and peace to the world by getting rid of all the humans, angry, warlike ones that were the humans, while the other was an angsty, antisocial, badass, as it were, that wanted to protect everyone because there was somebody somebody was cruel and somebody was kind, and so we can see both sides.
You know, those few times that we see Vash kind of sad and the weight of the. Okay, yeah.
Hold on. I didn't understand his thing. So,
well, that's what I was going to expand on. But yeah,
are you trying to say that Knives is happy killing people?
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm saying that
no.
Because Knives. The idea would be that the role reversal in this case would be that Vash stays with his upbeat, happy-go-lucky persona on the top, despite being a very sad boy underneath. Whereas Knives is edgy and angsty, but they have to take on the opposite role with those personalities.
So right? Vash is out there killing everyone and just being like disarmingly charming and happy and cheerful. And those few times in the show that we actually do see the weight of years on Vash, and he's all sort of sad and brooding. We see that in Knives all the time. But I don't think Knives is actually that broody in the original anime.
No,
I think he's not.
No, he's
more maniacal.
He's very maniacal. So maybe it's a you can build a protagonist on the lone wolf. I'm focused on my goal, and I'm going to do it even if it kills me, kind of thing.
You kind of see that in Wolfwood, I would say.
Do that by building. Yeah, you build people around that kind of personality. So somebody getting
or
somebody
Legato.
like Millie and
Legato fits the
his
brooding more than Knives does, and he was made up entirely for the anime.
You got Millie and Meryl there, and you've got them on Knives' side, basically trying to protect him from himself. Those times you see Meryl trying to stop Vash because Vash is actually, she can see that Vash is hurting, and she wants him to stop.
Let's play hypothetical here. Right, okay. So we're going to go through the events of the narrative. So In the original, this is spoilerific, by the way. So, all right. In the original, Knives.
I mean, we've already done that
up,
by bringing up the plants and everything. So
yeah, Knives is the one that brings down the ships and basically tries to kill all the humans, right? And Rem is the one that stops it from, minimizes the damage as much as possible, right?
yeah.
While Vash is just confused.
Right. Yes. So, in your hypothetical, who did the crashing? Who sent them to die?
Hypothetical, Vash did the crashing.
So Vash is trying to kill him.
Because Vash is, in this particular case, he thinks that it should be love and peace for all, but you can't have peace with humans.
Love and peace for all the people that matter.
Right.
In this case, being the plants.
Is he still the submissive personality or the dominative personality now?
I think he would still be, at this point, the submissive. He's able to go around behind the scenes.
He'll be skulking
and
around
do things
rather
while
than
Knives
confidently
is
tricking people.
taking... Yeah. So I could see a situation like where Knives is protecting him. He's like, Vash has got like pushed away into a corner. Knives steps up to protect him the way he does, but in the background you see Vash like breaking a bit of technology.
Okay. So, right, they've crashed on the planet, and in the original, Knives spends, I think it's like a year inside one of the derelict ships to create the two revolvers, right?
Yep.
Who does it this time?
I would say... Actually, no, I would say still Knives, because Knives is hurt and upset, and so he's planning to take out Vash.
Then why make two?
Yeah,
Why not only make the one?
That's a very good question. We'd have to script that differently. Maybe maybe Vash makes his own in this one based on what Knives does.
But the whole point is that Knives makes the two with the intent of giving one to Vash because he sees them joining forces together to take over.
Yes.
Right? But if Knives has made one independently, how would Vash know about it?
Well, Vash does come back, and that's how he gets the gun.
No, it isn't. He gets given the gun to as
This
soon
is the
as
anime,
Knives.
the original anime. Remember?
Yeah, he gets it as soon as Knives comes back out of the ship. He gives it to him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They don't.
Yeah. Oh, they don't actually split up. Knives stays in there, but Vash is waiting for him the entire
outside.
time.
Yeah.
Yes. So in this case, if Knives busies himself in the ship, maybe Vash is outside trying to convince him to come out, and is, trying to get his brother to come out of there, and is spying on him the whole time, sees what he's doing, and makes one himself.
Okay.
Would that work?
More of a skulking around.
Would that work?
I'm not sure. I'm not,
just because he can see that Knives is making something, and because Vash is like, oh yeah, no, I can see what you're doing. That'll really help me destroy humans.
Here's another possibility.
Oh,
Here's another possibility. I believe it is shown in the anime because Vash uses both of them, doesn't he? So it could be that Knives was planning to make them both for himself in this version, and Vash steals one.
Could be. Or in this case, when Vash is trying to get him to come out, when he does, Vash steals the first one he makes,
and then he has to go back and make another one.
Knives has to go back and make another one, and it doesn't have all the same components, so it's very slightly different.
Okay, so let's. To be honest, this is this part of the narrative is very difficult to piece together because, inspiring motivations for characters.
This is just events. What happened?
Right. So let's say the events of July. We're not 100% sure how we get to the events of July, but let's say the events of July. So I'm assuming it's Vash who's just decided to go around killing everyone.
Yes, he's fully embraced the idea of the humanoid typhoon. And instead of it being an accidental title, he's purposefully doing it.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so he's purposely going out of his way to kill everyone, but
Knives tracks him down in July, and is then Vash basically tricks him into activating it out of control, and Knives is the one that commits the tragedy of July.
But I don't think that would happen, because if Vash has the submissive personality still, I don't think he would nonchalantly just go around murdering people. I think he would be very subtle about it. Like, that was your point about subtly trying to kill.
Yeah,
maybe he would recruit the gung-ho guns sooner.
So let's go with this. Let's go with that submissive, sneakier personality.
Yeah, so I would have gone with, like, Vash would just, he would try everything in his power to keep out of Knives' way.
Stay off of Knives' radar.
He'd probably he'd probably realize that Knives would want to stop him from doing it, but he's doing it for Knives. So, like, again, I feel like the submissive behavior of Vash would very much be in line with wanting to please Knives as much as possible, but he'd be very methodical about it. He wouldn't just, as I said, nonchalantly shoot people en masse.
What about this?
Look, Knives, I've corralled these humans somewhere for you specifically to play with from now on.
No, but he would. I think
no. So imagine him getting into a position where he forces Knives to shoot him, or something bad happens. Right? He gets him into that position, and then when Knives goes to actually do that, Vash is able to escape the line of fire and force him to fire anyway on full power. Basically trick him into firing
his own death
when it's inopportune and causing all that destruction. Okay,
but
so he thinks that it makes Knives think that he's won or is going to win, even if he doesn't want to kill his brother. It makes him think he's being forced to do this, and then when he does, it turns out no, he's just fired upon a whole load of civilians instead.
I think Trigun, much like Death Note, is not one that you could easily role reverse the characters. I think that realistically, this it's just an entirely different beast, right? It's like there is very little in terms of the original left to make sense of it.
Since we don't know their nature, all we have is their nurture. So we don't know if something happened to set them, if they were created to go down these different paths to see which one was best.
Yeah, maybe.
We don't know.
Not just that, but we also have such monumental time skips, which would also heavily impact their nurture, right? The fact that Vash spends time with that colony that's stuck in the upper atmosphere, the ones that still have technology. So it's very, very difficult to assess.
Even their first year, Vash spends it outside in the wasteland, and Knives spends it inside, where certainly it's a wreck, but there's still technology there that he's using. So even that changes would change their outlook.
Absolutely, this is fascinating to me. So we, somebody somewhere is probably going to write this entire story as a fan fiction kind of thing, reversing it. But it would take an actual written story. This is the thing. This is one of those reasons I thought this would be a great topic to discuss, because when you break it down and work through it, some characters are just impossible to really role reverse, even though their roles in the show are really quite clear cut.
Yes. Yeah.
So
again, seeing like a submissive attitude or a happy-go-lucky attitude, or someone that's extremely empathic try to be a villain is again, it's hard to write. It's very hard to imagine. But I would like to pivot and see if Nasuth actually has another show that potentially.
Ooh. I don't know.
If you don't, I've got one.
Yeah, I don't have one off the top of my head.
I've got one that I think would drastically improve the show itself.
I could do one that only Thaylien and I would know, though. But so I don't think I will. It's gonna be Helk. What if Helk and the guy behind the Human King switch places? Not that.
That's a theory.
Okay, I'm gonna steal it.
Okay, go for it.
Overlord.
Oh dear.
Right. Like, what if
You've been summoned into a different place instead of Nazarick?
No,
Nazarene?
Just
Nazarene?
what if Ainz was just a full dickhead? Like, I've played so many MMOs for so long. I have all the best, shiniest gear. I'm a no-lifer, and effectively, it's Kazuma's personality in Ainz, right?
One of those guys who's like, lol, get good noob, sort of thing.
Yeah. He just, like, nuclear weapons the whole thing. Right?
Would you say that he would be atomic?
Oh, I hate you. Everyone keeps... Oh, my God.
Hey, you know what you get when you invited me on Notice Me Senpai.
Yeah, I know.
It's a contrast because he doesn't know what he's going to get when he invites me on.
Lol.
He knows it's going to be stupid, just not what.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that if Ainz leaned so much more heavily into being
super duper bad man.
Yeah, like, or no, not necessarily super duper bad man, but just selfish through and through. Like, again, the example of Kirito from Konosuba. I feel that... I do mean Kazuma. Sorry. Kazuma from Konosuba.
That would be a very different show.
Yeah, but at the same time, we could spend more time with the other factions. And let's not just have them as, cannon fodder, effectively.
To be conquered.
Yeah, let's actually give them some talent, some skill.
Some individual heroes that would have to challenge him.
Yeah.
But then it wouldn't be a power fantasy.
Well, I mean, is it really a power fantasy now?
Apparently.
Anyway.
It's hardly, considering how much he's repressed his own emotions, it's hardly even wish fulfillment at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel that, I mean, it's impossible to say whether or not it's nature or nurture when it comes to
Isekais.
No, just Ainz, because he is oppressed by whatever system is placed on top of him. He still seemingly has his own personal emotions, but they're just randomly diluted whenever, well, I wouldn't say suppressed is a good word, whenever the undead trait decides to kick in.
Well, he's also trying to protect himself from being found out that he's not really Ainz Gon, and these people, his subordinates, might turn against him. So he's you can kind of tell, they kind of display in the show that but, like, he's got a nicer person inside of him that he's actively trying to fight against. So if they got rid of that,
but we're trying to say, like, if we got rid of that nice guy persona, like, he would be so. But the thing is, like, we only saw
get away
him
with being selfish more, than
we only but like we only saw him really. Oh shit! What's the name of the damn thing? Struggle when it was against Sheltier, when she was kitted out with super Ubermensch.
Yeah, but even then, he didn't really struggle because he was able to just kind of pause time and buff up a million times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he paused time. He just buffed up a million times.
Okay, so the new idea for an isekai anime with one of those stupidly long names. I'm the hero of a world where a person was isekai'd as the villain. That would be an interesting one. Somebody has genuinely.
That's just Goblin Slayer. Clearly, the leader of the goblins is isekai'd.
Oh my god! Can you just imagine a Goblin Slayer Remonster crossover? Oh my god!
Oh well. Can we turn down the not safe for work?
Sorry,
his bone is showing.
Fan service is fully embraced by this series, but I mean, just be thankful for the they didn't draw in the nipples or the other organs.
Yes. And people are going to say, "What do you mean he's a skeleton?" Well, yeah, but Batman put nipples on the bat suit, so.
Oh my god!
Don't underestimate the power.
Anyway. In terms, I think part of the problem is that with Overlord, there really isn't an antagonist, right? It's kind of open.
He is kind of supposed to be the antagonist, but he's trying to do it in a way that lets him still be goodish.
The protagonist.
Yeah. I'm like, I mean, the only other way to say this is like, oh yeah. Momon is the protagonist while Ainz is the antagonist, and like they're both the same fucking person.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think fundamentally that is flawed as a narrative device because it's
the way they've done it.
So
but I think it's partly it's akin to a Hanna-Barbera cartoon where our main character is dating two people on the same night, and he's like having two separate dates running across. I think
that could really have made this really, really intriguing, right? Where Ainz, the person who becomes Ainz, had two accounts, and one was a hero and one was a villain,
and so it disguised him twice.
Actually. So when it is guys, it creates both, and we follow the villain as Ainz Alglan, but somewhere there is the same guy being Momon,
do you know
and
what?
He's going to face off against himself.
Do you know what?
That would be so much more interesting.
That would be fucking brilliant.
So much more
because if you think about it,
trying to convince himself to join himself on either side. Why are you fighting against me? We should be working together. Yeah, but why are you fighting against me? We should be working together.
It's worse than that. I say worse. It's more chaotic than that because neither one is trying to reveal that they're not from the world. Right? So both of them are playing their roles you would have Ainz who's not trying to murder absolutely everyone on mass genocide, and Malmon not trying to murder everyone on mass genocide. And like it'd be fucking brilliant.
Imagine the chaotic energy when Ainz sees Momon and says, "Wait, that's Momon. Momon exists in this world."
Yeah,
but that's my character. What's he doing here?
Is that really my other character, or is he just in this world like everyone else, like all the NPCs?
I hadn't even considered that. I hadn't even considered that.
Is it okay to kill him because he's not real? Is he real? I don't know.
I mean, it would be hilarious if it's like how Ainz disguises himself as Momon, right? Both Momon and Ainz disguise themselves.
Have another disguise.
As a different disguise, so like it's even harder to recognize. Yet they could potentially disguise themselves as each other, but it'd be funnier still if they're just ships passing in the night because they've disguised themselves. They don't even fucking. Yeah. Anyway, I like that idea.
We've just written a much better show.
We have. Like, I think that would be absolutely brilliant. Also, I would like it if it was a case of Ainz, maybe he was like the big powerhouse that he is now, but he didn't start with Nazarick. He didn't start with his allies. He didn't start with his mass riches and hoard. He started effectively with the clothes on his back, much like a certain other skeleton-based protagonist.
Yeah, what Skeleton Knight was joyously evil instead of joyously good.
Sure. Anyway.
So, summoned to this world to become the Demon Lord versus the same person summoned to this world to defeat the Demon Lord.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
I was summoned to this world to defeat myself.
Who was also? I was summoned to this world to defeat the Demon Lord, who was also me, who was summoned to this world to become the Demon Lord. That's a.
There you go.
This is just hilarious. This is so funny.
Somebody has to.
And in the end,
this.
Oh my God.
And in the end, they kiss.
What the fuck? Anyway, right?
Is that incest or masturbation?
Hi, YouTube.
Right. Should we move on?
Yeah, I think that's a
the
good
rest of the
spot to
show?
end on.
Okay.
With masturbation.
Right. Okay. It is now time for the supporter questions. So, Riku7 plus Diamond equals Best Girl asks, don't forget to lick and sub to your scribe on today's episode. I forget, is this the hentai episode? No, it's not. Well, anyway, which anime is the most like a hentai but will never become one? Serious though, this isn't the hentai episode, or are you just pulling insert image from Thalien's profile picture from Discord when his name contained my leg?
Yes. Or are you pulling my leg?
Okay.
I couldn't insert the actual image, so
Oh, you should have just said pulling my leg. I mean, that would have made life so much easier.
But it wasn't him. But anyway, it's the whole.
Anyway,
it's the presentation.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe you should just put like a fucking emoji of a leg in there. All right.
That's fair enough.
Oh god,
dear.
it's the anime in question is like Peter Grill's something. What is it called?
Which anime is most like a hentai but will never become one?
Is it Peter Grill and the Philosopher of Time? Or the Philosopher's Time?
Nausicaa Blitz Tactics.
Oh no, dude, trust me.
That's not like hentai.
Peter Grill is so much worse. Or there's interspecies reviewers.
Yes. That will not actually become a hentai, but it's so close, it's walking the line.
Oh, God.
Every single episode.
Worse than gushing over magical girls, by far.
Yes.
Right. Moving on to
Certain
Zrugal
things
asks...
are not supposed to be barbecues, I'll tell you that.
Moving on to Zrugal asks, would you be... I have no idea what the context is, and I'm going to be blissfully ignorant. Zrugal asks, would you be willing to get a bunch of anime-themed snacks and try/rate them for an episode? Yeah, sure.
If I get a hold of them moderately inexpensively, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not paying $100 for it or anything, but you know.
Yeah. Right. Anyway. So now we're going to move on to comments. First of all, from the news. So, Zrugal says, I remember looking for the show Chibi Maruka-chan when I was looking for kid shows to help learn Japanese.
I didn't consider doing that. That might be
Miku and Shin-chan crossover is certainly something I wouldn't expect, and clearly is the most genius thing ever. Strong Michelle says, so first there was Bleach 100 Years a Blood War. Now there's Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest. What's next? Reincarnated as a slime 100 years gazebo meeting. He puts /sarcasm, but I'm sorry.
Did you mean Slime Season 2?
I've not heard good things of Slime Season 3.
I'm going to be watching it, I think, so we'll find out.
Right. Stromberg Shell also continues with, it'd be cool if there was an actual mystery for the McDonald's and Detective Conan collaboration, like an AR game or something.
Cool.
Yeah. Or it's like, random things that you like pull off the cups or something. Like
Yeah.
Was it the Monopoly one? Or
Match
whatever.
these 3 clues.
Continuing on, I'm glad Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon is getting a 5th season. I just got done watching season 4. Season 4 was so good. Season 4 was so good. Oh, God, Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon is so good. Alright, right. So, now moving on to the cast's comments. Strong Michelle says, I feel like depicting parents in anime is a lesser used element. Not sure if that's a coming of age type thing, where in most stories individuals learn to stand on their own, and part of that is not relying on parents for things and becoming independent. Although I'd be hard pressed to think of an anime where the main character didn't have some sort of parental figure or mentor. My unique skill makes me OP even at level 1 comes to mind. I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, I did. And that one, there's definitely no parental influence in that one. It's just a straight isekai where you don't even discuss his life before that. So.
And then I'm kind of surprised Zeno didn't mention Tenchi Muyo when talking about multi-generational households. Did we talk about multi-generational
We
households?
did for a little bit, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, who knows? Right. Zrul says, father figure, I'll do one better than Ichigo's father, Piccolo, I mean Goku. He's all through the series.
He is.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Yeah. Though, I think the argument there is that Gohan, no matter how much Akira Toriyama tried, rest in peace, he could not get Gohan to be the main character.
Yeah.
He wants him to be.
Yeah. Also, was he technically there? Because he died for a good chunk of it.
Yeah, so he was training, then he died, then he went to space, and then he came after being dead, and then he went training again, and then he died again.
That's why Piccolo's his real daddy.
Came back.
Yeah. As a fun fact, did you know that in the Android saga, the 2 old ones were supposed to be the only androids? But,
what, 19 and 20?
Yeah, 19 and 20 were supposed to be the 2 androids they faced off against.
Right.
But,
so where did the other 3 come from?
The other 2, well, the 17 and 18, came from basically feedback where it's just like these 2 just don't seem to be any kind of appealing.
How am I not
younger,
surprised?
cuter people.
Right,
So-
anyway. Zul also says, I've not seen Toradora yet. I may remedy that this week. But I actually get where Thaylien is coming from. I don't remember what he was saying. I feel like the son maturing because of a need has almost everything to do with the mother, even though she's not teaching or nurturing him. That's fair. I think you guys are mistaking a strong negative influence and a weak positive influence.
We could have been a few times. There were cases of that.
Yes.
It's possible.
Yes. I think that was my case with like Gloria and Ichigo's mum.
Yeah.
I think Ichigo's mum had much more of a had much more of a strong influence than his dad. But,
Yeah.
Right, and now for the best part of the show, which is the memes!
Woo! Memes! As always, all the memes come from, all our memes, generally speaking, come from Reddit, and where we go just find some great ones. They're all hosted on our website. You can find links to them in the description below. And we also have your memes that you can submit to us on Discord that we never see until we're ready to show them on air. Except for one last week, which technically I kind of saw, but I didn't actually watch because I was editing. Anyway, let's start off with our viewer memes. We got 4 this week. Cute, beautiful, badass, MILF, all of the above.
Oh my god.
I mean, they're not really wrong.
No, they're not. I want a your spin-off. Oh my god, that's adorable.
Look at him.
That is absolutely adorable. Oh my god! Netflix, so anime, Netflix adaptation. Oh my lord!
It's been a while since I've got a
perfect.
decent Netflix adaptation joke.
Oh my god!
Uh,
Hey, I'm watching the dub for Delicious and Done.
oh, this is the one I edited.
Good job. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm actually watching the dub. I would normally never watch dubs. I only watch subs. Oh, well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I didn't think for a million bajillion years I would ever watch a dub. Okay. Normally I would rather drink an ocean of poison before watching a dub. Okay.
Your average anime viewer.
No! You do get this right.
Yeah, that's that's Senji's voice actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prosody is
Yeah.
actually Senji's
Yeah.
voice actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It doesn't sound
Nice.
like Senji at all. Or sorry, so it doesn't sound like Prosody. Prozed, whatever his name is.
Well, Young Yeah did Poochie in Stone Ocean. It just does not sound like him at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So onto my memes. That time I got reincarnated as food. To the world of Spice and Wolf. I see food.
Oh, no.
That is kind of more important. Yeah. You don't want to be food in that world. Right. Number 2. Me thinking I can escape hearing people talk about Frieren by getting offline. My friends talking about it in real life.
Yep.
So true.
Yep. You should watch it.
These girls would probably date someone just for food. Me, I don't have food, but I cooked a plate of memes. Would you girls date me? No. Sorry, weak boy. No.
That's Shiro from Fate.
It is.
Okay. Anime girls with fruit in their mouth look so cute.
Given what we know about Titans now, that really could be an anime girl.
Yeah.
Right, my next one is a video meme, so brace yourselves. If it'll...
Hey, Dad! You remember that time you gave Cell a sensu bean? That was a long time ago. What about...
Oh, it's on loop! Oh, crap.
You remember...
Alright. You're the Japanese army and you've been given a target to neutralize. The target is a kid in a hospital gown and a red cape.
Oh,
Wait,
no.
wait.
Zeno, you get this, right? This is Akira.
Tetsuo.
Oh, I forgot he was in a hospital. Yeah.
Well, at least he was for a while.
Yeah.
Alright,
Hey, I expect you to respect me. You expect me to respect you. I, you, me, you.
Yes.
Oh, Inosuke.
The Hoppip.
What?
Pokemon.
There's a Pokemon called Hoppip.
Dear. Oh, is it still? Yeah, it is still an unexpected journey. I thought they might have changed that. All right.
No, dude, you can't join our girlfriend watch party.
I wish he told me to put this on
it's
loop.
in
Oh well.
loop.
It's okay. I forgot to take mine off loop, so these things happen.
Utena Hiragi versus Hitori Goto. Starts off as a shy, introverted girl. Gets forced to join a group to perform a task. Immediately flops. Discovers their secret hobby and becomes very good at it. Gets a girlfriend. And an entire new friend group from their hobby. Fandom is filled with lesbian legs.
See, and this movie,
Oh my
or this
God.
meme, is why I knew that at some point Pochi is going to get a girlfriend.
Vaporeon's
Oh my
bathwater.
god!
Oh dear.
Kona, Vaporeon's bathwater.
Oh,
Would you try it?
dear. No.
Diff! No! Oh my god.
Not unless it gave you superpowers. Maybe then. They're really eating somebody's hair to get superpowers,
Okay.
So, no, would he give you the superpower to be the most compatible with humans?
Oh,
Okay,
fuck.
listen. Right, okay, listen, you. Right, listen. Though this is not NSFW, right? You are fucking walking a fucking fine line, my friend. Go on.
Let's leave it on screen for a little while longer, just for.
Well, no, because it's context dependent.
Could be a grimoire.
Oh my god.
I sense mana.
Oh dear. Don't do it. Don't do it, Frieren. Don't do it.
It's as I thought.
Listen, I gave.
It's the June popcorn bucket.
Okay.
This
This was supposed to have a not safe for warning.
NSFW. Shit. Sorry.
Oh, that's
Right.
Just
Paddy shots in other anime. Paddy shots in
Yeah.
Delicious in Dungeon.
So true.
Mhm.
So true.
Yeah. You're as beautiful as the day I lost you.
Yes.
You know me?
100%.
モカちゃんが教えてくれたいろんな見た目になれるアプリなんだってどれどれ
Next one's not safe for work.
Yeah. Yeah.
They say there is no way you can see something more romantic than this. Technically context dependent, but still.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
the
okay.
trauma.
Yep. Next one. I watched Gushing Over Magical Girls Totorola Cast.
No.
I'm surprised Nasuth isn't laughing.
I haven't watched Gushing Over
Did you
Magic
mute
Girls
yourself?
yet.
No, but the child's face, Nasuth.
So?
Oh my god.
Child's face is just funny.
Anyway. Last
Okay.
one.
I'm glad you guys like
Not
laughing
safe
at
for work.
children. Yes, another not safe for work. Video meme.
Genu? I told you to stop looking at hentai on the family TV. It's gross. Oh, who are you?
Oh, Jinha, it's me.
Genu? Why do you look hot? I mean, different.
Oh, I just started following Sam Sulik's workout program, so I guess I've gotten a little more ripped.
God, that's hot. I mean, that's so cool, stepbro.
Jinha, we're not step siblings. We're blood related.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm adopted. Anyways, are you busy later? Like, do you want to Netflix and chill? I mean, watch movies together? In my bed?
You know, I wish I could, but I actually have to prepare for another dungeon raid.
Oh, okay. Well, if you change your mind, I'll be stuck in the dryer. I mean, drying my wet clothes. Because they're wet.
Alright.
Do you want to
What?
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 That's basically what that scene plays out. That's how it plays out.
It kind of is. He's not really wrong.
Yeah.
I saw that meme too. I almost took it, but yeah.
I linked it to you.
I almost died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Why?
Okay.
This was. Oh gosh. All right.
Yep. That is it. That is it for the memes. That is it for this week. Next week, what?
Judging you so hard this week for your memes. You cuss at me, and
Hey,
you bring
I warned.
those.
I warned, right? I put warnings on that Nasuth forgot to mention, but I warned. Right?
Hey,
You
that
did
essentially
not
was
warn
wholesome.
enough.
There was
You didn't-
plenty of warning.
That
was
needed
such-
like actual mental prep to deal with that
He
last one.
needed a red alert sound, and a helmet, and
Need
full body
dark
padding.
sunglasses. People couldn't tell I was actually looking at it. That kind of thing.
Anyway, which part were you looking at? Were you looking at his abs? Anyway, right. So
Well, yes, and
next week we'll actually be covering the 3-episode rule for spring 2024. As I said at the start of this episode. Right, and that is it. That's the end. We're done. Kanpai!
Kanpai!
Kanpai.